Many people thought Joo Yeo Jeong was an uninteresting male lead, even less noticed than Ha Do-young. But Yeo Jeong's role has increased in part 2, and in fact, this headsman is not as simple as we think. We will show you that he is not simple at all.
손명호 씨, 어떻게 하셨어요?
dong-eun thought she was using Yeo Jeong for her revenge plan, but it was the opposite. When she heard about Joo's director, the person who helped keep So-hee's body after, dong-eun went to the hospital to eavesdrop on the situation and inadvertently attracted Yeo Jeong's attention. He was in the worst of times, both lost and wanting revenge, but unable to get it. Yeo Jeong evaluated the situation and was confident that he was the person dong-eun needed, and dong-eun was also the person he needed. So before dong-eun even started planning, Yeo Jeong had already planned ahead. Yeo Jeong created an opportunity for dong-eun to meet him at the park and taught her how to play Go.
죄송합니다.
Yeo Jeong didn't use dong-eun for evil purposes, but just wanted to find someone with a clear direction to follow. Dong-eun learned how to play Go very quickly. In the very first lesson, Yeo Jeong identified that she was the person he needed. Yeo Jeong was confident that he was useful to dong-eun until she left him, something he didn't expect.
그동안 고마웠어요. 과외해줘서. 꼭 좋은 의사 돼요.
우리 이제 안 봐요? 왜요? 아직 과외해야 돼요. 나 한 번도 못 이겼잖아요.
Until he met dong-eun again on the train, and didn't want to miss the chance again.
나는 여기 있어요. 혹시나 궁금해할까봐.
And indeed, dong-eun found him. This headsman was very good at handling things, calmly answering every difficult question from dong-eun.
물어볼 게 있어요. 처음 선배는 이미 손명호를 알고 있었죠. 근데 왜 얘기 안 했어요?
망나니는 범행의 이유를 묻지 않아요.
왜 함부로 날 믿고
확신보다 더 큰 감정이거든요.
Yeo Jeong was so good at maneuvering that when dong-eun found out that he intentionally approaching her, he turned into a weak person. He candidly answered to gain her trust, saying that he wanted to help dong-eun, would be a headsman for her, and then lamented that he thought she left him because he was not her type, in order to avoid revealing that he was also using her.
다 알고 나니까 내가 적격이었던 거죠? 망나니에.
Dong-eun calculated every step in her revenge Go game, while Yeo Jeong also had his own Go game which dong-eun was a part of, as well as his mother. Yeo Jeong did not want to speak to dong-eun about his personal issues. Instead, his mother would speak for him.
내 아들 좀 꺼내줘요, 지옥에서. 그래서 끝내 살게 해줘요. 부탁할게요.
This was appropriate timing, because when dong-eun finished her revenge, she was ready to be Yeo Jeong's headsman.
이젠 내가 망나니가 되어줄게요.
Many people were drawn to Ha Do-young's calm demeanor and were impressed by the revenge of dong-eun, which inadvertently underestimated Joo Yeo Jeong's ability to hide her true intentions. If the three Go players, Ha Do-young, Moon Dong-eun, and Joo Yeo Jeong were to face each other, Yeo Jeong and dong-eun would be the two formidable opponents. In the story of facing the enemy who took away his father's life, Yeo Jeong also had very specific calculations for himself. He applied for a job at the prison where the murderer was held. He just had to wait until dong-eun joined his revenge mission. And indeed, dong-eun's first move proved to be very effective.
부탁이 있습니다. 청송교도소에 무기수 한 명이 있어요.
The murderer was transferred to a worse prison and even beaten before leaving. Meanwhile, Yeo Jeong had made a different plan with a prisoner, agreeing to help his younger sister in exchange for him doing something Yeo Jeong needed.
일사동 사동 도우미 하시죠? 혹시 돈 말고 다른 거로 갚아주실 수 있을까요?
All have been prepared, and Yeo Jeong also had a headsman by his side as he had arranged. Now we just have to wait for his enemy to enter this prison. If dong-eun had spent many years building a plan for revenge against those who had abused her, so did Yeo Jeong. It's just that in dong-eun's main storyline, Yeo Jeong's story wasn't too prominent. That means he was hiding himself. Helping others first, to have them help you later, is also a type of calculation of him. And he was very effective in helping dong-eun get revenge. So don't think Yeo Jeong is useless anymore. As a person with a position in society, whose both parents are directors of a large hospital, Yeo Jeong's background may even be greater than some of those in the bullies. However, having received good education, he is completely different from those people. He doesn't look down on others, doesn't rush into things, everything is done with careful calculation. Along with the relationships he has, Yeo Jeong has achieved what he wants at the end of the movie. The ending of The Glory shows Yeo Jeong happy to work towards revenge, with the company and assistance of dong-eun. Along with the image of the two entering prison together, for revenge but also hinting at another implication. After all the wrongdoing the two have committed, going to prison is an inevitable outcome. Is there any chance for Season 2 to explain the ending of this headsman? Dong-eun used to play Go with Yeo Jeong, Yeo Jeong used to play Go with do-young, and do-young played Go with dong-eun. Dong-eun had won against do-young, but dong-eun had never beaten Yeo Jeong. If the student is so skilled, how skilled would the teacher be?